Welcome to Community Forum. My name is Johnny Chandler. I'm the owner and the host of Community Forum on KCCC 930 AM. Proud to say that Community Forum is sponsored by Eddy County. Eddy County is a great organization here within the county, of course, and they offer so many services to everybody. So thank you to Eddy County for sponsoring this great Community Forum. And I am here today with Jerry Strong. Jerry Strong is the Public Information Coordinator for Eddy County, so it's very topical, of course. How are you doing today, Jerry?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me, and Eddy County is proud to be a sponsor for Community Forum, so thanks to you, KCCC Radio, for bringing Community Forum back. I know the community is excited about that, so I'm glad to be here.
Right. It's been working out really well. I'm really excited that we can bring the radio station back in these programs, and there'll be more local programs that people love that'll come back in the near future. Now, if you recognize Jerry's voice at all, when you listen to KCCC a lot, it's because she also voices the commercials for Eddy County, who's also advertises with us, and it's been quite successful for them, so that makes us feel really great. And so if you recognize her voice, which is a wonderful radio voice, so thank you again, Jerry, for being here. Thank you for recording those commercials, and thank you again to Eddy County for the support. What a great community partner, and the radio station has been a part of that as well. So thank you.
It's great to be here and great to do those commercials. It's fun. We have a lot of fun being creative with them, and that's actually what we want to talk about today with Community Forum is possible career at Eddy County if some folks are looking for that.
So this Community Forum segment with Eddy County, and there'll be a lot of Eddy County Community Forum segments because you guys have so much going on, but this one specifically is going to be about careers with Eddy County, jobs that you can obtain, and how if you live in Eddy County, there's probably not a better place for a career.
That's absolutely true. You know, I was talking to Roxanne, who's our HR director, and Anna, she's the assistant HR director. And if you get the newsletter, which we can talk about how folks can get the newsletter here in just a little bit, but the cover of the July newsletter is talking about HR. And one thing that they brought up, Johnny, was that during the pandemic, a lot of people suffered a little bit, job losses, businesses were hurt, small businesses perhaps didn't make a comeback, and it was a very tough time for a lot of people. But Eddy County during that time had 0 layoffs and 0 pay cuts.
Right, and no furloughs.
No furloughs.
You didn't even have to take a day off or anything like that. There are few careers in our country that are as stable as working for your local government. And when you have a local government like Eddy County that really cares for their community, really listens to the people, it turns out to be just a really great career for you. So, just think about that for a second. Government agencies value their employees. Eddy County values their community and their employees. So they do everything they can when hard times hit to make sure that people are still stable, that they're not losing jobs, and they continue their career with Eddy County. So let's think about that when you're looking for a career in the future, that local government agencies are a great place to work, Eddy County being first and foremost one of those, especially in this region.
Absolutely. And we've always got something. We've got something for everybody, whether you have a 4-year degree or you're just out of high school or you have a GED. We have something for everybody, and we do take care of our people because we have to take care of our community. So I think that's why we were able to do what we did through the pandemic and not have any layoffs or furloughs or pay cuts, because we had to stay open to serve our community.
Right.
And so that's what we did. But yeah, there's something for everybody, and we'll talk a little bit about the different things that are available and how folks can get some more information. So
let's go ahead and get all the great benefit stuff out of the way. Do you want to start with the benefit? Everybody knows that there's great benefits. New Mexico is still one of the very few states that has full pension plans for their employees, which is a great thing. And Eddy County has some of the best benefits there are in the state of New Mexico.
They absolutely do, and that is usually what piques folks' interest is the benefits with Eddy County, and they are some of the best in the state. 100% of our employees' health, vision, and dental is paid for by the county. 100%. And then 60% of employees' dependents is paid. That's pretty incredible if you think about it. And that's just the insurance. That's just the health, vision, and dental. Eddy County also pays 100% life insurance premiums for county employees up to $50,000. So the county pays 100% of that.
Wow.
There is additional available for for employees should they want to, have a higher life insurance policy, but the county covers 100% up to $50,000.
So you're automatically enrolled in that life insurance coverage just by being an employee. You don't have to. You just sign on the dotted line to be hired, and then you automatically get that life insurance coverage as well.
Exactly. And then just it wasn't the last commission meeting, but the one before that. So it's been within the last month and a half that the Eddy County Commission just approved longevity pay.
Okay.
That's something that's new for all county employees, including new. And so what that means is every 5-year increment, you get a longevity pay, starting with 5 years, $5,000.
Okay.
So that to me is pretty good. Eddy County wants you to stay. We want you to, if you're thinking about a job at Eddy County, we want you to think long-term career.
Right.
We want this to be the place that you retire. And so $5,000, 5 years, $10,000, 10 years, $15,000, 15 years. So every 5-year increment, you get longevity pay. And we also have an employee assistance program. Sometimes folks are going through some hard times, maybe need some counseling or things like that. So we have an employee assistance program. And then, of course, your vacation and sick pay that's accrued every year, and holiday paid time off. So, the benefits are really incredible.
That's excellent. And then when you think about employee assistance program, which is also a shorthand, EAP is what they call it. Everybody goes through things in their life, and it's nice to have an option that's free, right? Just to talk to somebody every once in a while to help keep your head straight. And so that's a wonderful program. I know a lot of companies offer that, but the Eddy County definitely has some really good assistance employee programs.
We really do. And if anybody would like more information or just to get some more details, they can go to our website at eddycounty.org, go to employment, and then just click on health and benefits. And really there's a lot more than what we're going to talk about today, but these are just some of the highlighted benefits working for Eddy County, but there's really a lot more.
Right. Yeah. Excellent. Okay. So what do you want to talk about next? What do you want to get into job-wise?
Well, I want to talk about REDA.
Okay.
And
that's REDA is REDA?
REDA, okay. And it stands for Regional Emergency Dispatch Authority. Okay. So basically, it's our 911 system.
Okay.
Now, it's set up a little bit differently. REDA covers all of the Eddy County and Artesia.
Okay.
So the city of Carlsbad has their own 911 dispatch. Of course, we all work together.
Right.
But REDA covers the city of Artesia and the rest of Eddy County. And they are housed at FLETC in Artesia. But they are always hiring. And that is a first responder position that often gets overlooked and not talked about very often.
Well, it's incredibly important as well.
It's so important. It's the first person people talk to in an emergency. They call 911, and it's that person on the other end of the phone. One thing I do want to say, they just got approved for separate positions. So it starts out as a call taker. So basically, you're just taking those calls and putting them in the system. And then there's an opportunity to advance to dispatcher, where you're actually dispatching officers to the scene. And so I believe it starts, and I will have to get Bambi Kernan with me here sometime when we do one. She's the director, but they just got approved for pay raises. And so call taker, I believe, and maybe I shouldn't say it because I don't want to be wrong, but it starts at a pretty good hourly rate. And then the dispatchers, I want to say it's $22, $23 an hour. But you can get more information on that at eddy911.com. So it's EDDY911.com. And they're always hiring. I was visiting with Bambi. We had the New Mexico Counties Conference in Albuquerque just a little while back. And, we were talking about this. And I asked her, I said, how many full-time positions do you have and how many are filled?
Right.
And so there's, I think she said 20 or a little more than 20 full-time positions. 8 are filled.
Wow.
8. And so we need some dispatchers. We need some call takers. But this is one of those positions that you don't need a degree for.
So there's no prior qualifications
no
necessary.
Experience necessary. They will train you, and the training is very hands-on. You're going to learn. You're going to just get that hands-on training. Something else is they work 12-hour shifts, and so you have more days off than you would working, your 5 days, 8 hours a day. And so 12-hour shifts, you get a little bit more time off. And but so yeah,
it's a really great work-life balance too.
Yes,
especially if you put in 12 hours, but then you get breaks, you get a lunch, you get some lunches, you get some time off as well. So that 12 hours, while it may sound like a long time, the benefit of having 2 or 3 days off a week is kind of hard to beat.
Right. Absolutely.
One time from my experience in city government in Albuquerque, I worked in city government for about 4 years. And one thing that I noticed is there are some individuals that right out of high school, they'll jump into a government career, which is a great career for just a high school education, which is a great education, but it's a great career to get in. But I noticed that it's easy. If you're a hard worker, it's easy to move up within the organization. Right, so there's been some individuals that started as a front desk assistant, if you will, and then 15 years later is head of the finance department for the city or something like that. So, I mean, it's really easy if you're a hard worker and you want to learn and you're open to learning new things. It's really easy to move up within the organization. So you may start at $19, $22 an hour, but when you're done with your 20, 25, 30-year career at the county, you're making a lot of money.
Oh, you are not kidding. And I know you and I have talked about this before where, I could just kick myself, really, because if I had gotten into some form of government right out of high school, I'd be retired right now,
exactly.
Or I could retire right now. So if you or someone is just getting out of high school and they're not quite sure, maybe they've shown an interest in law enforcement, because actually there's been officers that have started as dispatchers, and which is really beneficial because then you know both sides of how everything works. And so there's been officers that start as dispatchers. So if you have, maybe your kid has just graduated, they've shown an interest in law enforcement, they're not quite sure, this would be a great first step for them to get introduced to how things work. And so they're needing some help.
Well, let's get one of the requirements out of the way, which I think most people know, but we do know that marijuana is now legal in the state of New Mexico, right? And so if you want one of these positions, you need to not use marijuana.
Yes, and so the county's stance on that is until they designate it differently federally, Eddy County's going by federal guidelines. And so, but yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because that is accurate for any position with Eddy County, is even though it has been passed recreationally and even medicinally, until it's changed at the federal level, Eddy County follows the federal guidelines. So you got to be clean.
And that can't be stressed enough how important that is when you're dealing with people, especially with Rita, who are in emergency situations. They'll train you how to deal with somebody. Rarely is somebody calling 911 completely calm and ready to go. And they're like, okay, let me lay everything out all nice and clear for you because there's an emergency happening. That's why you're there. You're there to help people. So you need a clear head, right? Marijuana does not give you a clear head whether the state says it's okay or not. Right. And so the idea is to, if you are, and so this is, I guess, will be for the mothers, the fathers, the grandmothers, the grandfathers out there. I'm not under the impression that there's a bunch of 16-year-olds listening to an AM country station.
Right.
Okay? All right. So I'm not going to pretend that that's happening. But what I will say is that if your young relative's looking for a career, it's really important that you explain to them some of the criterias and some of the things necessary to obtain these jobs, right? And just because it is legal on a state level doesn't mean that the criterias for these positions go away, and nor should they.
Right.
Absolutely. So, we were talking about the benefits, talking about the retirement. So a RETA job is considered a first responder job, I assume.
It is, yes.
Okay. So first responders, I believe, can retire after 20 years. Is that about right? 2025? I have a buddy of mine who's a firefighter in Albuquerque, and we've been friends for a very long time. And he joined right when he was 18, and we're all in our early 40s now. And we never joked about his job because it was such a serious job, but now he's laughing at all of us.
Imagine,
because he is literally about to retire with a full pension for the rest of his life, and then is going to be able to start a second career in his early 40s. And I'm starting a second career as a radio station owner in my early 40s, and I have a 401k that I've been contributing to, but I don't have that steady retirement retirement. And then the amount of money that you do receive on your retirement after you retire is based on what they call a high, right? So that's the 3 highest years of earning potential, right? So the later you get in your career, the more money you make. And so you start at 19, 22, $25 an hour. All the jobs pay very well, but that's not what you're going to retire at. You're going to get 90% at least of your retirement at probably $80,000 to $100,000 a year, typically, especially when you stick it out. And so these careers just cannot be overlooked, especially on the first responder front.
You're absolutely right. And something and I'm sure most of your listeners would agree is 20 years is going to go by so fast.
It really does.
I mean, I do. I think about it and it's like, man, if I'd have had a little bit better head on my shoulders when I graduated, and maybe looked at some of these careers at a younger age, but I had some wild oats to go sow
Right.
and got serious a little bit later in life, but looking back, and we always look back and say shoulda, coulda, woulda.
Right. Hindsight's 20/20, no doubt.
But if you have, like Johnny was saying, a kid or a grandchild that has just graduated, this is definitely something. At least have them look at it.
Right.
At least have them look at it. And again, they can get more information about RETA. Now, this is still Eddy County, but it's a different website.
Got it.
Which is eddy911.com. And they can get more information about these positions.
And everyone has to apply online in order to start
Yep.
the process anyway.
Yep.
So eddy911.com is a great place to start. You could also just Google Eddy County Emergency, but Eddy 911 is really an easy website to remember.
Right.
Real simple. So definitely encourage your loved ones and your relatives to look into that career. I remember when I was in my early 20s, I thought 40 was old. Right? We all do, right? I thought 30 was old, and I thought 40 was old. Now that I'm 40,
I wish I could go back to 40.
now I'm 42, and I feel as young as I ever did.
I wish I could go back to 42.
All right, so all about RETA, eddy911.com. Great careers. They have a lot of jobs open. They're really looking to hire people. It's a great career, and you're helping the community, right? There's always something to helping your community or finding a position that's going to help your community and doing things to help people. It makes you feel better, for one. For two, obviously, you got the great benefits, great pay, and you're just doing things to help people, especially in a crisis. And, I've always wanted to do things in my career, in my life, that help people. But I tell you what, I never did. I never did them for free.
Right.
You can get paid and help people at the same time. So keep that in mind. One more time on that website.
eddy911.com.
Yeah. Don't worry about the www anymore. Those things don't really matter. eddy911.com. Okay. So those are the RETA positions. Mm-hmm. Right. And then there's a lot of positions open in Eddy County. So what's the next one you want to get into?
There's always something going on at Eddy County, Johnny. And, right now there's positions available at the sheriff's office, the detention center, facilities and maintenance, public works, DWI, and just there's always something available at Eddy County. And again, these, some of these are degree. You need a degree, but some of them are right out of high school. Some of them are administrative assistants, but it goes back to what you were saying. If you start out as an administrative assistant and you are, loyal and committed to Eddy County, you're not going to stay there unless that's where you want to stay.
Right.
Some folks are happy with that and just the benefits, but there's room for growth. There's so much room for growth at the county.
So tell me a little bit about the DWI position. Is that a police officer position?
No, the Eddy County DWI program, and I didn't bring the details on that position.
But Cindy Sharif runs that. She's amazing for the community. She obviously is helping individuals that have recently gotten themselves in some trouble, right? Mm-hmm. But then more importantly, when sometimes someone doesn't know that they have a problem until they get caught, right? And that happens. The DWI is a real problem in the state of New Mexico, and Eddy County is no different, right? DWI is an issue. There's no Uber down here. There's no taxis down here, right? And so as a result of that, I think some people, they're not encouraged to drink or drive, but they just kind of blow it off a little bit. And some of the alternatives that larger cities have aren't necessarily here. So again, you don't know sometimes if you have an issue with alcohol until you get caught, right? And I read something the other day that says the average person drives 100 times intoxicated before they get caught once.
Golly.
right? And so that is obviously a very scary thing. We've all been behind somebody on the roadway that looks like they probably had, I mean, now I can't tell if they had too much to drink or they're playing on their phone.
Right,
yeah, right. I mean, one or the other.
But you don't want to take that chance.
No, equally
either
bad,
one.
Right.
Yeah.
And so what City does is they help people get on the right track after they're done, and more importantly, holds them accountable to the goals that they need to make sure that that doesn't happen again. And a lot of the times when you get caught for DWI, you probably have a substance abuse problem as well. And like I said, you don't know that until it happens. So I know Cindy. I've met her a couple of times personally. They advertise on the radio station as well. They have really clever commercials. Social Norman, I really like them. But the idea is that's another position to where you're helping the community and helping people that didn't realize they needed help until they got themselves in a little bit of trouble, right? And they want to get better with that. So if you're interested in DWI program, I would suggest you definitely do that. What's the website for DWI program?
Now, these are the ones that we're talking about now are all going to be eddycounty.org.
eddycounty.org. So rita911.com, eddycounty.org for the rest of the positions. So just a couple of websites there. Either way, you can probably get to a link on eddycounty.org
right.
to the other one, right? So, I mean, either one of those websites is really great. So working for the DWI program does not mean you have to be a police officer, right? But what it is it's helping individuals better their life after an unfortunate incident. And that's a perfectly wonderful thing to do. And I think that's real important for a lot of people.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And yeah.
What do we want to talk about next? Where do you want to head to?
You know, we've got just basically, I think we've kind of covered everything.
Let's get into the newsletter.
Oh, right. I would love for folks to sign up for the newsletter, and there's several different ways they can do that.
Okay.
They can email me
their
email address, and I will put them on the newsletter distribution list.
Well, let's blast your email address to the county.
Let's do it. It's J Strong, so JSTRONG, so strong. Yeah. I've had people think it sounds like strong with an WN, but no, strong like the opposite of weak. And so it's jstrong@co.eddy.nm.us.
Okay, so all of the states and the county websites, they have a requirement to have the nifty little stuff at the end. So let's go one more time with that. jstrong, STRONG, at co.eddy, EDDY.nm.us. Okay, so the CO is going to stand for county. Right? And then .eddy, which is the name of the county that we're in, right? And then .state, NM, then .us. Okay.
Yes.
That one, that's not really that difficult, folks, but we're going to say it one more time for you.
It's jstrong@co.eddy.nm.us.
Okay, so what can I expect to get from the newsletter?
So the newsletter, and I do want to just put it out there that if you send me your email to get put on the newsletter list, that you're only going to get the newsletter. We are not going to spam you. We are not going to send you unwanted email. So you will only get the newsletter once a month, and basically it's just 4 pages. Okay. It's very short. The cover, we always have a message from leadership. So it's different directors, different commissioners, the county manager, just giving an update to the community from their perspective, from their department. And again, the one for July will be from our HR director, Roxanne Brannon. So she covers that. Then we have a news and updates section. Then we have an employee spotlight section. And then on the very back is Eddy County in the community. What are we doing in the community? Because, I want folks to realize we're more than just business.
Right.
Yes, this is where you go to pay your taxes, to vote, to, apply for a marriage license, things like that. Yes, there's business that happens every day, but we're more than that. We are very involved in the community. Eddy County partners with a lot of different things in Artesia and Carlsbad, cleanups and beautification projects and things like that. So we're more than just business. So that's basically what you're going to get. And then just some fun stuff on the corner. On the cover, I always like to do national days and just kind of have fun with that. And
who produces the newsletter?
I do.
You put the newsletter together?
I actually started it from scratch.
All right.
I think it was the end of 2019.
Okay.
So almost 2 years, I kind of just put it together from scratch, and folks have enjoyed it. So there's another way to sign up for the newsletter as well. And Eddy County has a booth at the Carlsbad Main Street third Thursdays.
Yeah, third Thursday. We had Kat Davis, executive director of Carlsbad Main Street, on, and we talked about third Thursdays. I mean, every Thursday is a great day to go downtown.
It is.
But on third Thursdays, you're going to get a lot more for your visit.
That's the big one.
Yeah.
That's the big one. So Eddy County, now I was not out at the first one because we had the New Mexico Counties Conference that week for the first one, but I know our county manager, Alan Davis, was there, and they did the plaque dedication for the beautification project. And so, but moving forward, Eddy County will be out there, and I will have a sign-up sheet for you to get the newsletter, and then we'll have some swag.
Yes, I love the shirts.
So,
I have a shirt.
You don't have a short sleeve.
I do not have a short sleeve shirt, so I have the winter shirt.
That one, so I just got the short sleeve ones in for this coming third Thursday. Yeah. So we'll have some short sleeve ones out there. And then I didn't bring you a mug. We just got some. I know. So we just got some Eddy County mugs. They're really cool. And so we'll have some mugs out there. We'll have some t-shirts out there. And all you need to do is sign up for the newsletter to receive that. And again, you're not going to get spammed. If you sign up for the newsletter, all you're going to get once a month is our newsletter.
Yeah, that's a good point. Too often you sign up for something and before you know it, you're getting 10 emails a day. You're getting lost in the sauce, if you will. And so it's a really good thing that you sign up for the newsletter, you're getting the newsletter. So the next third Thursday that's coming up is going to be July 21st. Right. So definitely head downtown on July 31st in the evening. They're there for 2 or 3 hours.
Yep.
And it's a great thing. And it's a wonderful time. And I really enjoy how much information you can gain from that. But also, like, there's a lot of student groups there. There's organizations, selling candy or other little things.
It's just a wonderful community event. It really is. And, that's one thing that I cherish about our community is we have things like this. And there's, people sometimes complain there's not a lot to do. But, if you compare us to Albuquerque, you're right. There's not a lot of amenities, but there's a lot to do. There is a lot to do here. And so,
I'm about 7 months in to being a full-time resident here in Carlsbad and Eddy County. And I lived in Albuquerque for almost 20, right? And sure, Albuquerque's got some stuff to do and a few things, but there's plenty to do here. I'm going to disagree with you about Albuquerque having a lot more to do. I don't think that's the case.
I use that as a comparison because I was raised here, but then I went to Lubbock for 23 years. And I'm not going to lie, there's times where I'm like, there's just not the amenities that you get spoiled.
Albuquerque has more breweries and a few more restaurants, but that's okay. I mean,
Carlsbad and Eddy County is just beautiful. There's a lot to do here. There's hiking. Carlsbad has the beach, and so. But I know Artesia has a farmers market as well, and so I don't want to leave them out. I know that because the county seat is in Carlsbad, that we're a part of the Carlsbad Main Street.
Right.
But I mean, there's a lot of stuff to do in Artesia.
So let's talk real quick about the communities that Eddy County does serve. And so you have Artesia, you have Carlsbad. Those are the two major ones.
Carlsbad, Artesia, and Loving, and then Hope is incorporated. It's very small, and then we have just our smaller communities like Otis and Queen, and just the smaller areas. But Eddy County covers quite a bit. But the main, that people are used to hearing is Carlsbad, Artesia, Loving.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely. And I've been to all three. I've been to Loving once, and but that's a nice little community as well. And the people that live there are very happy with the way that that's situated and it's set up. So I love, Eddy County is the sponsor of Community Forum, which I love. So thank you very much for that. But I actually really, really like Eddy County's slogan, right? It's Eddy County honoring God, family, and country.
Yes.
Right. Thriving with industry since what year is that?
1889.
Since 1889. And that's the founding of the county.
Yes.
Right. And then obviously the city of Carlsbad was originally Eddy, New Mexico, right? So we're looking at 1889 as the start of that. But I really like that slogan. Whenever you drive into the county on 285, you'll see really wonderful billboards. And I appreciate a community that doesn't shy away from their founding and what the people believe.
Right. Absolutely.
Excellent. Let's recap real quick because we're almost running out of time, but let's go ahead and recap some of the locations and some of the jobs that you have offered. Locations meaning websites. Now you have to apply on the website, but if first, there's a couple of things you can do. If you don't have computer access, you can always go to the Carlsbad Public Library.
Yes.
Or
you can come up to the HR department at the county admin building, which is 101 West Green Street, 3rd floor. Right. And they have computers up in our HR department, and they will assist you.
Yeah, they'll walk you through that.
Yes, they will. And so, because we do realize not everybody has a computer or internet. And so we want to help you as much as we possibly can. So you can come up to to the third floor HR department and apply there with one of our computers up there. Or if you do have access to a computer and internet, you can go to eddycounty.org and go to the employment tab and look at all the different positions there. But then RETA is a different website, and that is eddy911.com, and you can get more information about those positions there.
Right, so we're going to go eddy911.com for RETA. And tell me what RETA means again. I can't keep
RETA
that one in my
is
head.
the Regional Emergency Dispatch Authority.
Okay.
And that covers,
important positions.
those 911 dispatchers cover Eddy County and the city of Artesia.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. So we got eddy911.com.
Yes.
eddycounty.org.
Yes.
Or you can head down to the Eddy County administrative offices.
Yes.
They will help you fill out that application. They'll help you with the internet. And you don't necessarily have to have internet in order to apply for these jobs. Just head on down, normal business hours, right? Monday through Friday.
8 to 5.
Come 8 to 5, come on down and they will assist you with that. But let's not forget, as we recap some of these jobs open, right? There's 12 dispatching positions open, I believe what you said
Quite
right
a few.
now. That's a
There's
lot.
20 something full-time available, and only 8 are filled.
Only 8
so
are
yes,
filled,
yes.
right? And then you also have a lot of other jobs within the county. We're talking like solid waste. And what else?
Public Works, DWI, facilities and maintenance, and those are updated every Friday.
Every Friday,
So
okay.
every Friday, any new positions that are available will be uploaded to our website.
Right. So eddy911.com.
Yes.
eddycounty.org.
Yes.
And you want to, you want to sign up for that amazing newsletter.
Yes.
J Strong at, let me get this one right, okay?
Okay, let's see if you can.
JSTRONG at co.eddy.nm.us.
That's it.
Okay, we've said it
Yes.
so many times that anybody listening will certainly remember.
Yes.
So anything else that you want to add before we call it a show?
I think that's it for now. Again, Eddy County is proud to be a sponsor
I'm
of
very happy,
Community
of course.
Quorum. And so we just look forward to the different programs and the different folks you're going to have on for Community Forum. And we're happy to sponsor this.
Eddy County is going to be a regular guest. As we get closer to November, we absolutely have to have the county clerk or
Absolutely.
a representative from the county clerk's office on there. We'll definitely have DWI program. I'd love to have somebody on from RETA, right? The Regional Emergency Dispatch Authority.
Yes.
Right. I'd love to have somebody on from there. We'll talk to the sheriff, of course, and we'll just continue with all the programs that Eddy County has. Eddy County will be a really regular guest on Community Forum, and I completely look forward to that. So, Jerry, thank you very much for being here.
Thank you.
And don't forget, Community Forum is sponsored by Eddy County, honoring God, family, and country, thriving with industry since 1889.
Perfect. You're doing good.
All right, I'm getting
You're
it.
going to get a T-shirt for
All right,
that.
I want the one. Thank you very much.